parents. My mom's from Arkansas, my dad's from Louisiana. So that tells you that I was conceived during a NASCAR event, and delivered by Jeff Foxworthy. So much fun. No, now the other thing is when I told my mom I was moving up here, she got super worried. She was like, "Oh my God, James, something horrible is going to happen to you. You're going to get bugged or raped or even worse, lose your accent." So, now with everything going on in the world right now, I've had to have some pretty heart-to-heart conversations with some of my cousins back home. And a couple weeks ago, I was talking to my cousin Dave, but I promised I wouldn't use his real name, so we'll call him Dale. But I told him, I said, "You gotta quit wearing the Confederate flag, man. You can't keep supporting losers." He's like, "But your parents support you, so." But then he tried to use all the excuses that you hear. And the first one, he's like, "No, the South's gonna rise again. We'll get them next year." I'm like, "Dude, you're not the Phillies. You can't lose year after year after year." Kind of thinking about it, I do wish we would have had like a Civil World Series instead of a Civil War. Just because maybe this table would shut the fuck up while I'm trying to do my jokes. But no, the reason I say that is because if you didn't know it, like the Super Bowl, the World Series, like the losing teams' hats, shirts, and jerseys go to like underdeveloped areas, so you could have some kid wearing like a Lee's #1 shirt in some place like, I don't know, like Argentina or Ghana or wherever the hell Drew's from. Yeah. Then the next thing our cousin tried to hit me with, he was like, "Nah, James, like the flag's about heritage, it's not about hatred." And I was like, "You're full of shit too." And here's why, because if you look like a terrorist, people will treat you like one. Because if you see somebody in sheets and a hood, you think they're in the Klan. Yep. If you see a group of old white guys over by the Little League field, you think they're retired priests. And if you see a pothead in the corner crying with a little green sash by him, you know it's Girl Scout cookie time. Now, not only did I grow up in the South, but I also grew up Irish Catholic. And when I say that, I'm dead serious. Like, there's 8 of us kids, and I have 24 nieces and nephews, y'all. Yeah. So that tells you 2 more things about my family, is we don't believe in things like contraception or hobbies. But when I tell people I grew up Irish, they're like, "Oh, you mean like 7 generations ago?" No, like my grandma came over from Northern Ireland, y'all. And we used to, yay. I'm not even that excited about it, and I'm part of it. So. But the thing is that, like, we grew up listening to Irish folk music, and I figured something out the other day, is that Irish folk music is just rap for poor white people. There you go. Mainly because they're both singing about the same thing. Take the song Whiskey in the Jar that Metallica fucked up by covering. And you go listen to what they're talking about. They're talking about a guy who goes and robs somebody, goes home, tells his girlfriend, while he's asleep, she hides his guns, and then calls the dude he robbed to come get the money back. Tell me that don't sound like a Tupac song. And that's not the only one. I mean, you can listen to Danny Boy, and it's the same thing as Bone Thugs and Harmony's Crossroads. Or you can go with Irish Eyes Are Smiling. It's just the same thing as Ice Cube's Today Was a Good Day. And I'll prove that none of y'all can tell the difference. Because there's a song that talks about how like a guy's like decked out his car and he's singing about it and everything. Clap if you think that's a rap song. Clap if you think it's Irish folk music. You're all wrong. It's the wheels on the bus go round and round. Now, one of the things that I don't like is stereotypes, y'all. One of the ones that I hear up here a lot is that white people don't like spicy food. Have y'all heard this? Yeah. It's bullshit, y'all. I'm from East Texas. We're like Cajun legions on horseback. We put hot sauce on everything we eat. Makes taking a girl home that first night a lot more fun. Yeah, she can't say she didn't feel anything that time. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta spice up the crabs. It's all right. If anybody next to you didn't get that joke, it's a slow burn. Now this morning I got behind a car and it had those little family stickers on it. You know what I'm talking about? It has the little dog, the cat, and the wife. But where the husband was, there was a big red X on it over him. And I was like, man, if I get up next to this lady, I gotta let her know there's easier ways to let people know you're single. Like getting on stage and being like, hey, I'm a comic, I'm single. There you go. But I am single, except for I know why. People look at me and they see the beard and the beard cut, and they're like, is that a masculine lesbian? Like, what's going on? No, the last girl I dated was actually kind of weird. And when I say that, I'm not talking about the kind of weird, like roll over, bite the pillow with the safe words orange. Not like that. It was like every 28 days she'd come home with a fifth of whiskey, and I'm like, honey, what are we celebrating? She's like, it's not a Father's Day. Which was really odd because she had an IUD. That's birth control, man. And I'm a veteran, y'all, and IUD is close to IED, except this time it was a safe explosion, so. Ladies, if a guy ever tells you he's a veteran, it's usually for one of two reasons. Either he's trying to get laid or he's trying to get a free drink. So after the show, when you come to get a picture with me, just show me what you want me to put in my mouth. Ladies, I'm usually, when I'm walking around, I have that little white cotton mask on, and I have learned why y'all get waxed now. Jesus Christ. So, although I do wish y'all would quit getting Brazilians altogether, just because y'all argue a lot about, oh, my boyfriend can't find my clit, well, it's because there's no fucking target around it, that's why. You're not off the hook with that either. Like, you need to find the clit. It's behind the right knee. Come on. Although I was trying to think about it the other day. I was trying to think about the first time I heard about a clitoris. And I was about 8 years old. And my older brother and his football buddies were talking about it, except for they called it a clitoris. So I thought it was a dinosaur. Mainly because most guys have still only seen them in books. Now, yes, like I said, I am a veteran. I do have PTSD, and if you ask my mom, that stands for being pretty, tempting, sexy, and debonair. Usually I get a whistle out of that, y'all. Jesus. No, it's too fucking late now. I had to ask for it. So. But I have started trying to cut weight. One of the things I found out is y'all are prejudiced against guys in jogging pants. So if you see somebody who's in really good shape, none of you fuckers. Y'all look at me and you're like, oh, this dude just came from working out. And then you see my fat ass and you're like, oh, this guy just came from working on a pizza. But I really did, before everything got locked down, I really did try and put into everything. And I went into the doctor and I was like, what do I got to do to lose weight? He's like, oh, we're going to give you a Fitbit. Goes on your right wrist, measures the motion of your wrist, so it'll tell us how much you worked out. And the only thing I learned the first 2 weeks is that I drank for 3 miles a day. Yeah, and by the way, Geico, fuck you for stealing my joke and not paying me for that. But I really did, I stuck with it, and I went back to the doctor and I handed him the app, and he's like, wow, James, you're up to like a half marathon every week. And I was like, yeah, doc, but I didn't have the heart to tell him that. I took it off my wrist, put it on my dog's tail, and started feeding her treats. aren't you in better shape? Well, round is a shape, so fuck you. Yeah, exactly. Now, like I said, I am a veteran. I did 15 years as a paratrooper in the U.S. Army, so. Thank you. Flashbulb brainwashing still works. Do we have any other veterans here tonight, though? None? Oh, fucking awesome. I love it. I get all the shots afterwards. Fucking. But yeah, 10 years of that was spent in combat, so no quick movements in the shadows, and we'll all be all right. Yeah. Sometimes when I finish my sets, people will come up to me and they'll say, "Hey, James, thanks for your service." And tonight I want to say thank y'all, because for 15 years you paid for my housing and food, for my alcoholism, and for the shittiest vacation ever. This is vodka, y'all. No. Most companies send you to places like Lake Tahoe and Disneyland. I got Iraq and Afghanistan, y'all. And if you don't know where those places are, it's because you went to public school. You can thank Dr. D. So. Not all deployments are bad. Don't get that idea. My first deployment, I joined at 17, and at 17 years old, I got told we were going to Brazil. In my mind, that meant playing soccer and hot girls in bikinis on the beach. Nope. I got the Amazon rainforest in the middle of the summer and spiders the size of coffee cups. I'm pretty sure some of them were racist, but I don't speak Portuguese. Now, eventually, after you deploy enough, you got to go see the psychiatrist, and I got taken to see mine the first time. Yes, that is the right word for that too, taken. And when I got there, they asked me, they were like, "James, you're here for PTSD. Do you know what that stands for?" And I was like, "Well, if you ask the cops that brought me in, it stands for put the shotgun down." I was just doing my Kurt Cobain impression. I didn't understand it. So. For those that may have forgotten, he blew the top off the 90s rock. It's been like 29 years. Get over it. No, the next thing the psychiatrist asked me about was she asked me if I knew the difference between being sad or depressed, because that's what most veterans have to deal with. And man, do you know the difference between being sad or depressed? It's the color of the bathwater when the paramedics show up. And then the psychiatrist wanted to ask me about my sex life, and I know none of y'all want to imagine me naked. It's okay, I'm body positive. So. But I thought I'd have some fun with her, so I told her I like to choke myself while I masturbate. You know that's right. She was like, "James, aren't you worried that one of the times while you're doing that, you may accidentally kill yourself?" And I was like, "Doc, if I do, it's just another notch on my belt." One of the things that's kind of interesting is 1-800-SUICIDE is the suicide prevention hotline, if you didn't know. And I always wondered, why do we have to put prevention in there? Like, is there a suicide assistance hotline? Like, you call them up and they're like, "You were going to do what? Take pills? You pussy." Check this out. We have a box on its way to you, and it's going to contain 3 important things. It's going to contain gun-flavored mouthwash, an assortment of ropes, and our newest book on how to tie the perfect noose by Anthony Bourdain. Oh, like you do then. Shut up. But the other thing about it is 1-800-SUICIDE. Like, suicide could be a hard word to spell. I mean, gun to my head, I couldn't do it half the time, so. Some of y'all will get that on the way home. easier ones for us to do, like, I don't know, 1-800-I-KILL-ME, or 1-800-YOU-SUCK, or 1-800-WET-TOASTER. And I know what you're thinking, like, James, wet toaster's too long, well, the extension cord wasn't. Now, I know I've done a lot of suicide jokes, and that's not usually anything to joke around about, so if you have anybody going through some stuff right now, please give them a hand, because then it's homicide. Now, one of the other things that I get asked about is, James, you're a combat vet, do you ever have flashbacks? And yes, I do. I'm on my medication, though, don't worry about it. But the thing that I found out about flashbacks is a lot of people don't know how they work. Like, essentially, you get to relive your worst moments in life over and over again, kind of like when the Eagles think about signing Carson Wentz to another. But I always wondered, like, why can't we have a good flashback? Like the first time your dad took you to a ball game, or your first kiss, or the first time you got a finger in the butt. You know, it could all be the same day. So, you know, some parents are more loving than others. But like, I remember my first kiss, like it's usually a good thing, people's first kiss. Like, ma'am, do you remember your first kiss?
Yes.
Oh, well, I wasn't pointing at you. It's okay. Her? Yeah, do you remember your first kiss? Oh, wow, she said that really quick. She was like, the priest was amazing. What?
I'm not Catholic.
Oh, that didn't stop them. But like, I remember my first kiss, like I was all excited. She was really firm, and I'm not allowed in that cemetery again, y'all. Yeah. Now, part of my PTSD is I do have paranoia, but everybody gets paranoid every now and again. Like, you ever driving, take a right-hand turn, the car behind you takes a right, then you take a left, they take a left. Now all of a sudden you're like, oh shit. Is that the FBI? Is that my ex? In my case, it's just another fat guy going to a buffet. So. Another wonderful part of it is I have social anxiety, and I know you're asking, like, James, if you have this many issues with PTSD, how do you get up in front of people? Lots and lots of alcohol. So. And social anxiety right now is amazing, because we do a lot of shows on Zoom on the computer. So if I get tired of y'all, I just shut the computer down. Although I found out that when you do that in real life, people don't like it when you push their head down when you're done talking to them. Like I said, I really am on the medication I'm supposed to be on. I have to take antidepressants. And that's not why I was talking. No, you're good. And sometimes people don't understand that antidepressants can cause erectile dysfunction. There's actually two different types of ED though. So you have the kind that you need the blue pill for, and then you have the kind that makes it look like you have the blue pill coming into you from an IV. So I have the second one. The problem with that, when you're dating somebody and whenever you have that issue, she won't give you a blowjob. So how are you supposed to be happy? Because you're taking ADs that are causing ED that keep you from getting a BJ because she says THMJ. She says that hurts my jaw. And I know for some of y'all that's TMI. Now, despite my social anxiety, I also do public speaking, and I go out and talk to schools. That's right, I am loud around kids. So they're yours. I don't care. But last year, for better school kids, and one of them raised his hand, and he was like, Mr. James, is war like Call of Duty? No, the fuck it's not. Guys, there's no pause button on a bullet. There's no easy setting on Afghanistan. Not unless you're in the Air Force. Now, one of the other things, I know we had Veterans Day early in November, and I really wish y'all would stop telling your kids to be like veterans, but I'm not giving up my one free Applebee's meal a year. Let's get that straight. Mainly, the reason I say that is because there's a lot of repugnant shit that happens in the military that you do not know about. So I'm going to tell you about now. One of the things, just imagine you take 4 18-year-old men full of testosterone and Bud Light, you put them all in a room together. There's not a virgin goat on that post. And that combination is how you get something called gay chicken. And no, that is not the newest meal coming out of San Francisco. I'll clarify that. But what gay chicken is you have two guys sitting really close to each other. They put their hands on each other's thighs and slowly start moving up until one of them freaks out or they touch dicks. Here's the thing though, y'all. I was in the 82nd Airborne. We have to take things to another level. So what we did was we changed the game a little bit. One guy gets on his knees with his mouth open. The other one goes about 5 feet away and pulls his dick out, and they start waddling towards each other. Now you may be asking, James, did you ever play this game? And no, I did not, because I saw no way to win. Because either you got a dick in the mouth or you got called a bitch. Does anybody here believe in reincarnation? A couple people, awesome. Y'all can come back, the rest of you can fuck off. But the reason I asked that is my last tour in Iraq, I was almost blown up 3 separate times by suicide bombers. For $20 after the show, I'll show you the scars. It's amazing. But since I've moved up here, I've almost hit 3 separate deer. Now you may be asking, James, what does a deer and a suicide bomber have in common? And it's not the color of their skin. It's actually because they both explode when they hit your windshield. Thank God for vodka. Alright. Now, eventually I did have to get out of the military, and obviously I did. But I thought when I got out that people would be afraid of me. Like, I have a beard and 13 tattoos, y'all. Like, and I know what you're thinking, like, James, you have 13 tattoos because there were 13 states in the Confederacy. No, go see Dr. D. There were only 11. So, you should have paid attention in school. But does anybody else here have tattoos? Fucking of course. So, one of the things that I can't stand about having tattoos, though, is people always want to come up and ask you, like, oh, what does that mean? What is that for? Why did you get that? Alright, so I'll explain some of mine. I have a Freemason tattoo right there. You can see it. It tells you I believe in conspiracy theories. I have my family crest on my right calf, so that way you know we own the trailer park that we lived in. I have my entire back piece done, so that way if I ever go to prison, I get the top bunk. Now, one of the things is, obviously, I've covered a lot of really dark shit, so I want to make sure that, you know, if you leave here tonight, that you're covered in case something happens and you don't go to hell. So I'm going to do some religious jokes, and we'll cleanse you of everything. So, like I said, I grew up Catholic, y'all. We believe in purgatory, and if you don't know what that is, that means you go, it's like a little holding spot between heaven and hell. And I was thinking the other day that if Epstein didn't kill himself and he really was murdered, like, he could be in purgatory right now, but for him that would be heaven, because that's where the abortions go. Do you ever wonder wonder if Jesus was really crucified or did he just forget a safe word?